Hi, this is Kathie. Welcome to Craft with Kathie.
I did this little piece, When Life Gives You Lemons, a while back. Did a little bit of embellishments with some foam that I chalked. And thought at the time that I would use buffalo plaid ribbon across the top. And it just seemed like it needed something else. So I've decided instead of the buffalo plaid, I'm going to use the stripe and some other ribbons, basically do like a messy ribbon. And I'm not the best ribbon person by any means, so bear with me. I'll probably be using my transfer trimmers there anyway. Let me get another scissors. Okay, so I'm just going to take some odds and ends of ribbon and put them together. To make a messy ribbon.
Messy bow. A messy bow. I don't know why I keep saying ribbon.
And a messy ribbon can be used with scraps. Nice way to use up your ribbon scraps. Or anything you basically have on hand. And you want to find things that go well with your design or the colors. And I know I don't have quite what I'm looking for here. I'm using, this is kind of like an almond with a little bit of gold sparkle to it. If I had some thin burlap, I would have opted for the thin burlap instead. But I don't have that. So this is what I'm going with, and we'll see what it looks like. If I don't like it, all I have to do is untie it. No harm, no foul. Let me just open up this new spool of gold ribbon here. Oh, I can't get underneath the plastic with my scissors. There we go. I like this gold. I think it's pretty. So I'm just cutting like 4 pieces of each ribbon type and slightly shorter lengths for the thinner ribbons. And about 4 pieces each. And we'll see how it turns out. The idea is to have some coordinating colors and some different textures. Okay, so I have some thin, kind of like string here. And I'm going to lay my ribbon over it. Now none of this ribbon is wire edged, and I have to admit, wire edge ribbon makes for a much prettier bow in general. But most of my wire edged ribbon was very thick, and that's not what I was going for. I think this is too small of a piece for a great big poofy ribbon. So you just want to spread this out a little bit. And keep crisscrossing them, but spread the individual pieces out. And you'll be able to adjust and finagle this a little bit when you're done. Or let me put this, you'll be able to finagle it and twist it and play with it a little bit as you're wrapping it up. Now, I needed some yellow to coordinate with what I have. And that's what held me back for a while on adding a bow, because I really didn't have the right yellow to coordinate with the project. So this frame just languished, waiting to have something done to it. I'm going to add a little bit more yellow here. A couple more little pieces. My nice bumblebee yellow to coordinate with the yellow and the lemons. Okay. All I'm going to do is I folded this up at the top, and I'm going to take these pieces, the ends, feed them through the loop at the top. Hold down my ribbon pieces and pull this tight. Looks kind of moppy. That's fine. We're going to squish it, tug it, pull it, and then take each piece, each end here, around the back and knot it to make it snug and secure. One thing that I've also used occasionally is a clothespin to hold them all, and I think that works a little better. I didn't think of that now, otherwise I would have gotten it. So I'm going to do a little knot here and pull this as tight as I can before I go about rearranging my little pieces of ribbon. Oops, I guess I pulled that a little too snugly, didn't I? I just broke it. Interesting. Never done that before. Okay, I'm going to knot it there and get rid of this end. Okay. So it looks kind of floppy moppy a little bit. But I do think it'll go with the project. It'll pull it together well. So before I wrap it all up, I wanted to come back in here and adjust and fine tune the lengths of my ribbon. My yellows are, I think, too long, so I think they need to be all trimmed up. And you know what? Necessity sometimes is the mother of invention. I didn't have this yellow. I couldn't find it in the store. So I made it to perfectly coordinate with my bumblebee yellow on my chalkboard. So here's where you're supposed to say, how did you do that? Oh, very simply. And I will show you when I'm done with this bow. Sometimes we have the answer staring right at us before we put the pieces together and realize, okay, I need to trim these down a little bit more. Just a little bit. Well, do I really want to go shorter with those? Maybe I don't. Maybe I just want to trim my stripes. I don't know, sometimes you have to play around and see what look you're actually going for. I like that. So let me trim the rest of the stripes.
getting a little dovetail cut to all of them.
Please feel free to comment. Let me know where you're viewing from. I always like to see where my viewers are. I'm coming at you from the suburbs of Chicago, the western suburbs of Chicago. Where are you from? I just want to line that up. Make sure I don't get another ribbon beneath it. There we go. Now, what do you think so far, huh? I think it's getting there. Let me do the other side here. I might need to trim the top ribbons a little bit more. We'll see. The idea behind putting a ribbon is we want a nice little embellishment to enhance, but we don't want it to really detract from the project we're putting it on. It should add to it, not take over the show. I think I made a bow the other day on something, and it was a beautiful bow. It was nice and poofy and full, but it was just really too large of a scale for the project, and I ended up not using it because it overtook the project. It overshadowed it. And I have to admit, I am a ribbon freak. I kind of collect spools of ribbon and have for a long, long time. I love doing Christmas presents and putting great big poofy bows on them and with long trailing tails and just kind of amp the excitement a little bit. I'm going to do these a little bit differently. And you don't have to be perfect. If you make a mistake, just trim it up. If worst comes to worst, you could pull it out of the bunch that we have tied together here, or cut it really short so it's hidden. Or untie it and start over. It's no big deal. Just be patient, relax, and kind of enjoy the process. Don't put pressure on yourself. This is a messy bow. It's not going to be perfect. We don't want it perfect. We want it to be a little disheveled, a little casual, and fun most of all. I don't know if I should trim the almond ones. I suppose I should do something with them too. And then maybe shorten the yellows up a little bit more. I don't know. We'll see. Let's go in a different direction with these. And just to make sure I didn't miss any, being that I put 4 pieces of each ribbon, I know that in each side I have to trim 4 of them, so I catch them all. I don't know, you think I should trim the bumblebee or not? You know what, I think I might just leave it. I think maybe trim this one a little bit. It's a little bit longer, but the rest I think are pretty close. I think that's it. I think that's what I'm going for. I like it to look a little, well, it's a messy bow. It should be a little messy. And I need to put a piece of the wire, oh, it's not wire, but my little string around it so that I have something to tie it with. Oops. Somewhere lost in all my trimmings is that piece. I suppose I could use a piece of bumblebee in the middle to tie it. I haven't trimmed this to size, so I wanted to be able to adjust it before I'm done. Oops, I got one of my other pieces of ribbon stuck in there, not what I wanted to do. I'll just adjust that when I flip it over. What do you think? Sometimes I add a little bit of a couple glue dots to the back to hold my ribbons in place. It really depends if they need it or not. This one's going to be a little tough for me, I think, to hold in place and tighten by myself. I need another finger here. So it might not be perfect. Or you know what? I could wait until I have another hand. Basically, you get the look. What do you think? Isn't that just the perfect accent for this frame and for when life gives you lemons? Make something sweet. So let's talk about this ribbon. I didn't have any. I needed some. What's a girl to do? Make your own. And I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. Need a small container, a paintbrush, ribbon cut to the lengths you want. And I'm only going to do 2 of these just to give you an idea. Oops, I've got a little tape on the edge of this. Don't need that. So let's do 2 small pieces. Chalk paste. Same chalk paste I used for my lemons. I want to pick up a little paste on my paintbrush, put it in my container. Actually, that's a lot for just doing 2 little ribbons. I might have to dye some more. Spritz it with some distilled water. Stir it up. And there you go. Now, obviously, I could have made this lighter or darker. I actually really did too much here. Whoops. For my little pieces of ribbon, all I want to do is throw them in the container and get them wet. Soak them in there. You know what? Maybe I'll take some of this. Oops. And make some ribbon for my next project of when I use Bumblebee. Use the gold and white satin ribbon here. Just put it in my little jar. Stir it around, let it soak up all that chalk paste.
If you're enjoying this video and find it useful, please feel free to spread the love around and let your friends know about it also. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe and follow.
Stir it around until you know it's totally covered. And it's soaked up all that ink. I'm sorry, all that chalk. And then set them out to dry. That's it. So perfectly project coordinated ribbon. Perfectly coordinated ribbon for your project because you're using the same chalk paste that you used to chalk with it. Can we get any easier than that? Now I've only tried this with white ribbon because it makes sense that it would be easier to color or dye, if you will. But just have a supply of white on hand and you can customize to whatever color you need.
Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful life.